What's up, everybody? Welcome to Moose Milk Podcast, episode 46. 46. I'll be your host, Ryan. We're joined again by Matthew, back from vacation. And, of course, Finnegan's here to say hello to everybody. Look at this guy. He won't even look at the camera. That's how big of a diva he is. Trying to get him to not bark this entire episode, which would be just a joy. Matt's here. Here's Matt's invite. And Matt. Look at him. Look at him. So good looking. I got an energy drink.
Energy drink. That's pretty opposite of bubbly.
Yeah. It's like the bubbly's nice and healthy, and this is definitely. What's up, buddy? How are you?
Oh, good, man. How are you?
Same old.
Yeah.
Nothing new.
Yeah, I guess I'm there too. I had an okay week, I guess, but it was just busy. I fucking hate the first week back from vacation.
Oh,
it's like I know we've talked about this, but it takes all the great things about the week prior where you were just chill and relax, and it's like everything just gets amplified. It's like,
oh, totally. It's like almost worse than taking vacation. Like
that's what I mean.
The negative on vacation is coming back from vacation.
It's like twofold. It's like your vacation ends and that sucks, and then and then you're going back to work, and it's like everything's in like double speed because it's catch up. So
yeah, exactly.
Brophy Time says, "Hey guys, nice to see you today." And then he said, "You guys are collectors, right?" So I'm not a collector.
No, Matt collects nothing.
Nothing.
That's just his wallpaper on the wall.
Yeah, it's true. No, that's funny. Yeah, I obviously am. And then Ryan is not a figure collector, but he likes, he started doing the Lego thing, right? So
I don't collect anything other than, well, I'm starting Lego, but I mean, I got movies and I got video games, but I'm not a collector in the actor.
Hold on a second. You say I've got movies, it's like, yeah, I got a couple movies.
Yeah. I got one or two.
That's too funny. I know. Remember when we both collected CDs?
What's that?
I said, remember when we both collected CDs?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing, right? Is like, oh my God, this dog, I swear to God, he just knows exactly when we're about to start. And he won't stop.
Yeah, a little squirt bottle.
I know. He's like a cat. No, I mean, I would still collect. I mean, I collect vinyl. Basically CDs.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I like supporting artists, so I try to, when I can. But
you try to support them.
Yeah, but I mean, it's also a dying thing. Same with movies. Movies is dying too.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy when you see the numbers, like year over year. Like even the good movies are only doing like 15 to 20% of what they did before the pandemic. Which I understand.
Even just nobody buys Blu-rays anymore. Nobody buys a physical copy of a movie except for me. None of my friends collect movies or buy movies anymore. They maybe buy them digitally if they find them, or they can't find them on Netflix or something like that. But nobody does that shit anymore.
Yeah, it's true. It's so true.
I'm a dying breed.
Yeah, well, that's okay. Still, it's good that you enjoy it. That was a big part of why I got out of buying, because I used to buy I used to buy a shit ton of movies, and then when I moved to Vancouver, I just didn't really have the space for it anymore, because space is limited here. You pay for space.
I have a whole house. I can have an extra few things and not, eat space. But if I had kids and shit, there's no way I'd have room for all this stuff.
The thing is, though, for me is I got to the point where I didn't want to let it go, but I had to, because I just didn't have space. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna buy movies I really like, and superhero movies, and I'm gonna always just buy them on Blu-ray. That was when I started kind of buying Blu-rays, is when I kind of got more selective.
Yeah.
But then I was I got to the point where I would buy shit and I wouldn't even open it. I'd go to put something into my thing, and I could see there's a bunch of stuff that's still in wrapping, and I'm like, I'm just doing this to do it. I don't even get any joy out of it. It's
no. I mean, I don't know. It's weird. I buy all the Marvel movies still and all like the comic book movies. Like I just bought Suicide Squad and Black Widow.
Oh, nice.
But like they're both. Well, I mean, Black Widow. Obviously, everything's gonna be on Disney Plus, so it's like why even have a copy of it? But
yeah,
I like having the collection. I don't know. Series, you know?
I get it.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I have that collector's mentality that if I ever started buying action figures, it would be bad. Like
it would be really bad.
Why, like, it's great that I never got into hard drugs or anything like that because, like, it would just snowball like that. I have that addictive personality where I know if I would be like, oh, heroin's actually really cool. You know, there we go. Oh, cigarettes are great. And then I'd be packing like 3 packs a day. Like, you know.
Yeah, man, I get that. I definitely feel that as well. I go down the rabbit hole pretty good when I do. So it's like this happened in like 7 years. Like this took only like 7 years. Right. It started as like 5 figures and now it's this.
Yeah. And you couldn't even put a number on that.
I honestly don't have any idea how much is in there. There's got to be at least there's got to be 1,000 figures in there at least.
Yeah, but like, what else do you do, right? Like, as a human, like, if you don't have a collection of something, what are you doing? What are you enjoying in life? Like, you gotta love something, even if it's like sports memorabilia or like cards, like trading cards of some sort, or like something. Like, you gotta be into something. I don't know. People collect cars. I think that's like completely insane.
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
You have one person in your house, but you have 46 cars. Why? I don't get it. I get it. But I get it in the mentality of like collecting things. And
yeah, me too.
That's what you're into, then I get it.
Yep. Same here. I get it. It's like when people who collect shoes. I mean, I used to collect shoes, so I know that one. But it's like lots of people who have shoe collections too, right? So
yeah, to me that's insane.
Yeah. My wife collects books. She likes purses and books. Yeah.
I have a good friend of mine collects shoes too, and she has like hundreds of pairs of shoes. And it's like, why? When are you ever going to wear all these shoes? But
yeah, it's not the point. It's not the point.
I get it. I get it, but I don't get it. You know.
Yep, I get it.
But yeah, no, I mean, like I said, I have vinyl, I have video games, I have NES games still that I'm never going to touch.
Yeah,
I don't even have a working NES. You know.
So the conversation right now they're talking about down here is light blue anger says, how would you feel if Hasbro started a Resident Evil or Call of Duty line? So for me personally, I wouldn't care because I don't do either of those. You what?
I love Resident Evil, but I wouldn't collect the action figures probably. Like I said, I'm not an action figure guy. It would have to be like a really, really well done figure, and it would have to be like somewhat reasonably priced as well. Like I'm not paying hundreds of dollars for an action figure.
See, the good thing about Hasbro is if Hasbro did it like that, they'd probably ballpark for around $30 a pop, and they'd probably be like pretty good for what they're worth.
Yeah, no, like $30 is reasonable. I mean, we were texting earlier about the new Turtle Bus.
Yeah.
That they released, and I was like, "That's really dope. Are you buying that?" And Matt tells me it's like $500, and I was like, "That's ridiculous." But then again, I just spent $500 on Lego, so it's it's just as ridiculous.
Yep, I agree. It's tomato. It's all the same. Yeah.
But no, I love Resident Evil. I'm a huge Resident Evil fan. I've been playing the video games since I was since the first one on PS1. I've played all of them. The new movie looks like absolute dog shit, but
it looks like dog shit.
The new Resident Evil movie comes out next week.
And it looks bad? I don't know. I don't really follow it.
Terrible.
Okay, that sucks. I can't remember if I heard
it looks like it has a bunch of fucking 6 ham sandwiches.
What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. What did you watch? I mean, I guess it's been a couple weeks since, and I missed you entirely last week, so what have you been watching?
I started rewatching Daredevil.
Oh, you told me that. I already knew that.
So I finished the first 2 seasons of Daredevil. I'm starting Punisher season 1 now.
Nice.
Those shows are still fucking hold up, man. Both those seasons are fucking awesome.
The what? Sorry?
Both Daredevil and Punisher are just awesome. They're so good.
They are. They're really great.
Like, I don't know if I was like watching season 2 of Daredevil like really tired, or if I was drunk watching it, or like I didn't remember a lot of that season, and it's way better than I remember it being. Like, I loved Elektra in it. I love the Punisher in it. Like, it's awesome. I don't know.
Me too. I like season 2. Season 3 is a little bit worse, but I still liked it.
Yeah, I think it was the weakest season of the 3, but
for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna finish Punisher season 1, then I'll bounce back to Daredevil season 3, and then I'll watch Punisher season 2. I'm trying to finish it all before Spider-Man, but
nice.
Yeah, so I'm watching that. Obviously, all my normal shows I've been watching. Trying to think. Oh, I watched Ghostbusters today. Not the new one, the original, and then I went and seen the new one. So
I watched I watched it last night after I got back from Afterlife.
Yeah, it holds up pretty well, I think.
I think so too. I mean, it's hard for me to say because, like, honestly, Ghostbusters 1, the first one, is like, is probably in my like top 5 like favorite movies. Not saying it's like the best movie ever, but it's just like it for me. It holds like a really heavy dose of nostalgia from when I was a kid. Like, I have a lot of memories of seeing that movie. So yeah. So I love that movie a lot. So.
Yeah, I mean, it obviously looks really dated, and like, you know, for 84 or whatever, it holds up pretty good. I mean, like, there's a few parts that made me laugh. There's, you know, the CG and everything like that looks like shit. But, you know, 84 is supposed to look like shit.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the second one, so
the second one's okay. I don't mind the second one. It's just not as it's okay. It's just okay.
Yeah, I don't really remember it, but I remember being scared of it as a kid. But
it's because the big painting guy.
Yeah, I remember that.
Terrifying.
I remember, like the bathtub or something has like ooze coming out of it or something.
Yes.
That freaked me out for a long time taking a bath. I was like, oh no.
Yep.
What happened to ooze starts coming out of this thing? Like that's bad news. I was very reactive, but
and then there was the 2016 one.
Yeah, well, that was just dog shit.
I rewatched all of them like recently.
Yeah.
And that one was like, I was like, the thing that I don't like about that one is it doesn't feel like a Ghostbusters movie to me. Like, I think I see elements of it that I like, but I'm just like, it just doesn't feel like Ghostbusters to me. Like, even though number 2 is kind of like, play it safe, play by numbers, it's just like, it's not executed well. Number 2 is, and then like number 3, or sorry, what do they call it? Who Are You Gonna Call, or Answer the Call, or whatever it was. Like, it just seemed like a lot of like slapstick. Yeah, and it just like it wasn't like, it was like trying to be like a stupid funny movie instead of being a Ghostbusters movie. What's that?
It feels like an SNL sketch.
Yes, totally that.
Like, it feels like a 2-hour SNL sketch, and that's why it doesn't work. Like, I know what they were trying to do, and I get it, and everybody goes, oh, you hate it because it's an all-woman cast, and that's why it gets so much hate, and it has nothing to do with that. I hate it because it's not funny.
Like, to me, the cast isn't the issue with that movie. Like, I think there's parts that are genuinely pretty, like, that I actually had, like, an out-loud laugh, even though I had seen it once before. I was just like that one part where like she turns around and she's looking on all the shelves, and then what's the girl's name with the shorter hair, the crazier kind of girl? She's just like standing in like the hole in one of the shelves. She's like, it's so funny.
I mean, I only seen it once. I didn't like it, but it is what it is. Oh,
I remember not enjoying it as I like left. I was like, that was shit.
Yeah.
And then when I watched it again, I was like, this is still shit, but there's some pretty funny stuff. Like, Chris Hemsworth is fucking hilarious in that movie.
Yeah, he was the best part of that movie, in my opinion.
Yeah, totally. He's so good.
Yeah.
So
I honestly hope that they bring them back in some capacity.
It
needs a better script.
Well, yeah, I don't know. If they continue this at all, I hope they continue with what I saw last night. So, but we'll get to that in a few minutes. So, Brophy time. If you are afraid of spoilers, we are going to talk about Ghostbusters pretty soon here, the new one, Afterlife.
Yeah, we both seen it today. So
yeah,
we're going to spoil it a little bit. But
Yeah, so we're going to be talking spoilers, but we'll start with non-spoilers so that way everyone can partake. And
then... Also, I want to recommend the Always Sunny in Philadelphia guys started a podcast.
Good.
That first 3 episodes are up right now. It's basically going back to the original season and doing every episode kind of covers an episode from the show. So they're kind of discussing their memories of filming the early seasons and every episode and everything like that. And it's really, really funny. Like really, just really funny. Like they go off topic immediately, and it's great.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's called the Always Sunny Podcast.
Yeah. Really funny. Just
Very
3
funny.
guys. Galen Olsen's not in it, and Danny DeVito's not in it, but yeah, really, really good. And it's blowing up the charts. They're already second in the world podcast. So.
Oh, really? Shit, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Only podcast is the fucking Joe Rogan podcast, which I hope they just run that guy over with a truck. So.
Not a fan of Joe Rogan.
No, me either. Fuck, can't stand the guy.
No, it's a hard pass.
Anyway, how about you? What have you been watching? How was your New York?
So yeah, New York was very cool. I got to we got to the highlight of the trip for me was probably Stephen Colbert. So we went and got tickets to the Stephen Colbert show. So that was pretty cool. And yeah, we went and saw Mrs. Doubtfire on Broadway. It was like, yeah, it was fine. I mean, I didn't guess. Nah, it's kind of like more modern. It's kind of like a more modern take. Like it's like, it's kind of like a bit more like PC. Like it's like, like when he gets found out by his kids, like they walk in and she's Mrs. Doubtfire is taking a piss.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like instead of that, it's like his mask like kind of starts to come off, and that's how they kind of find out. Like, you know what I mean? Because like, yeah. Which I mean, I guess I get that for sure, but it's just. But yeah, and like they kind of changed the story to make it so it was like not a lot, but like little details, so they didn't have to go into so much set detail, I would assume.
Right.
Like instead of Miranda being like an architect, she like designs like activewear or something. Like I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it was okay. Like I guess the hardest thing is like it's so hard to beat. Like I don't know how much you like Miss Doubtfire, but like I love Miss Doubtfire. Yeah, and it's like it's so hard to compete with that. Like,
oh yeah,
and the guy, yes, it's true.
Yeah.
And it's like this guy wasn't trying to match him. Like he did a great job, but it was just like, it was hard to like not miss Robin Williams. So
yeah. Well, it's the same as like the genie in Aladdin or when they got Will Smith to do the live action one, I'm like, this doesn't hold a candle to fucking Robin Williams. Like,
it's true.
Even in the new Jumanji movies, which I like both of them. I think they're fun comedy movies, but it misses Robin Williams. Like, I wish he was still alive to be in these roles because he was so funny.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, well, so we did that, and then we ate. I got pizza one night. It was just okay. It wasn't from yeah. But we ate pretty well.
That's the only reason I want to go to New York.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I want to eat all their pizza, and then I want to go to Chicago and eat all their pizza.
No, you don't. Have you ever had Chicago pizza? Have you ever had Chicago pizza? It's fucking disgusting.
I've had airport Chicago pizza, which wasn't anything to write home about.
I can tell you that I went to the place that was apparently the best in Chicago, and like I had a vendor bring me because we were in Chicago for a food show, and he was like, "Oh man," he's like, "You never had Chicago pizza?" He's like, "You're gonna love Chicago pizza, right?" I'm like, "Okay." So we go and we bring it, and he gives me the first slice, and I could just see in his face how excited he was for me to eat this, and I was like, "John, I'm not gonna lie, this is fucking like disgusting." Like, it's like.
Really?
It's like a crust bowl, and then they just like pour everything in the middle. It's just like it's not for me. The thing about it that I don't like is like it takes away all the familiar elements of pizza, other than the ingredients.
Well, it's like a lasagna almost.
It's what, sir?
It's like a lasagna almost. It is.
Yeah. It's not for me. It's not for me.
I love pizza.
I didn't even enjoy it. Let's put it that way. And like usually I can enjoy pizza regardless.
Sure.
But I was like, oh.
Well, I think the biggest problem is we have such good pizza where
I know where I'm from.
Compare, you know.
Yeah.
Anyways,
we don't have that problem in Vancouver.
What's that?
We don't have that problem in Vancouver.
Of good pizza?
Best pizza. Yeah, we don't have that.
No. Every time we've been there, we've had pizza together, and it's just like, yeah, this doesn't compare.
Not even close. We found good places now. Next time you come, I'll bring you good pizza. But it's still not as good as
next year.
Pizza. Sorry. Next year.
Next year, we'll strip down and eat pizza.
That's funny. What else? And then, what else did I watched? I watched Ghostbusters 1 as well, like you said. And then I've been watching Always Sunny. I've been trying to catch up a little bit, but slowly. Making my way through. I'm only on season 11. I thought I was on season 12, but I'm only on season 11.
Yeah, so you got like 4 more seasons to catch up on, or three.
Yeah. But in the last couple of days, I've done like 3, so it's like, that's pretty good. That's pretty fast for me, because I don't really... Because I like to actually like watch them, right? So.
Oh, they're so good. Yeah, I mean, season 15 starts December 1st, I think, or December 2nd, so still got a couple weeks.
Yeah. And then Hawkeye starts next week, so I'm excited. I also listen to the Always Sunny podcast, and then I've been really into Conan again. I mean, I always am, but Conan's he just did like a live show with Will Arnett, and it was really good. It was really fun.
I'll have to check it out. I kind of fell off his podcast. A lot of the guests he was having on, I had.
I know for a while there, his guest selection wasn't that great, but
yeah. I mean, I get it. COVID kind of fucked everything up. So
absolutely, yeah.
And then wasn't Sonya off for like a long time too?
Yeah, Sona went off for like she had a kid, so she was off for like 3 months, and then right when she came back, Gorley left for a month because he had a kid. And then the live show was the first time the 3 of them were back together. And then I think like on the actual show, he'll be back in like 2 more weeks, I think. So
cool.
Yeah.
Right on.
I love that. Conan O'Brien needs a friend. If anyone's looking for a funny podcast, I love it.
Oh, it's very fun. And like definitely go back to the early episodes where like you had like
the first 2 seasons are hilarious.
Because they were fucking really good for a while.
Yep.
What'd you think about all the Disney Plus Day stuff?
I mean, I had a hard time I wasn't really following close because I was in New York and we were out and about, and I just wasn't really paying that close attention, but it doesn't seem like I missed a whole lot. When I went back and looked, I was like, oh, it doesn't really seem like we got too much.
I was surprised that we got no release dates. That's what shocked me.
Oh yeah, we didn't. That's weird.
They didn't tell you when any of these new shows are coming out, other than we know Book of Boba Fett's coming out, I think, December 30th or 31st or whatever it is. But
doesn't Book of Boba Fett start the week after Hawkeye ends? I think it does.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it would have to, because Hawkeye's 6 episodes, but we get the first 2 next week.
Doesn't Hawkeye go to like the week before, just like that's December 22nd, I thought it was, or 21st or something.
I can look. Hold on, it's 22nd.
Yeah, so then after that, the week after would be Boba Fett. So
yeah. So we'll have so much shit to talk about, and then we have Spider-Man in there too.
Spider-Man. I'm super excited for Spider-Man.
But yeah, no, I mean, we got a brief glimpse at some of the new shows. Like, they showed a bit of Moon Knight. They showed a bit of Ms. Marvel. They showed a bit of She-Hulk, which is cool. My biggest concern, I would say, and I think I briefly touched on this last week, but I kind of wanted to wait for you to come back and really talk it out. But I really think they're going to have a problem with too much content at some point here. They seem to be putting out so many shows, and I mean, a lot of them are animated and may be geared more towards like a family-friendly child audience. But the more you tie these shows into each other, makes it the more like you feel like you're obligated to watch them all because it all speaks to each other. But there comes a point where I'm like, I'm not watching 6 Marvel shows constantly. Like, There's
Yeah.
there's going to be a point where there's too many shows.
I still think that we're gonna get like I do think that to get the ultimate experience, watching everything will ultimately provide that. But I don't think we'll ever get to a point where the movies won't make sense if you didn't watch Disney Plus. Or if that is, I mean, there may be cases where if you watch Disney Plus, you could appreciate all of the plot points more. But if you walk into a movie, like if you walk into, I'm just going to say a name here, but like Shang-Chi 1 and then Shang-Chi 2, you go in and it's like 100% different. You're like, I just don't see them doing that. Like, they may use some flashbacks or they may explain the story kind of at the beginning to catch people up, but like, yeah, I don't ever think it'll be to the point where like it's absolutely necessary.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably right, but like I said, I just think they're setting up a lot of cards.
Yeah.
And the house is getting very high, and at some point the table's going to wobble and these cards are going to fall.
Yeah, but didn't you ever think that we were going to get to this point anyways? Because, like, you know, like even the other day, like when I saw a post that said like that they're talking about doing a Kingpin series, in my mind, all I said was like, this is starting to sound like DC. It's like, remember when DC was just like, and we've got another new movie in development. It's like, dude, you guys can't put out anything good. Like, why don't you guys just get one good one and then you can start? Like,
Ruben Drag Ram, hey, how's it going, man? Yeah, no, I agree with you. I don't know. Like I said, there's a lot of rumors swirling around right now about characters showing up in other things, and you know, there's rumors of people showing up in Hawkeye and people showing up in Spider-Man, and my buddy was telling me today there's rumors going around that people have theories about Spider-Man after that trailer. That I don't know if you remember the scene from the trailer, but when Doctor Strange is standing on the Statue of Liberty in that one scene,
yeah, with all the purple behind him.
Yeah, and then he goes, "I can't stop it. They're all coming. Everybody's coming through," or something along those lines. I can't exactly say the line verbatim, but it's something along those lines. The theory online is he's talking about mutants and not Spider-Man villains.
That would be sick.
Because I guess his wardrobe is different than what they show at the beginning of the movie, and everybody assumes that all the Spider-Man villains are already through at that point, and he's trying to close like them, but they just keep going through.
That would be amazing.
But who knows? My worry on that is how do I word this properly? How would they show off new X-Men if you don't have any relationship with the X-Men? Like, unless it's all the old actors coming back as cameos, but then they're not going to keep those actors. So, like, I don't know what the right way to approach that is. If you're bringing back all the old Spider-Man villains and the old actors who played those villains, it'd be weird to bring back Wolverine and it not be Hugh Jackman. It's just some new actor playing Wolverine, but you have no relationship with that actor, so you don't really know that he's Wolverine. I mean, I'm sure in the scene he'd have to have his claws out or something, but yeah, it would be a hard approach to do it. But the theory online is it has to come before Fantastic Four, probably, and they're running out of time. Like, if they're doing all this multiversal stuff, and that's how they're going to approach X-Men, it has to be this movie or Doctor Strange, probably.
I mean, not really when you think about the amount of stuff they have, and they could even have more stuff that we don't know about. They do, I'm sure, but like, you know, to me, if they're going to use this chance to introduce mutants, I feel like it's very unlikely that we'll see any really familiar mutants enough that we would be like, oh, this person's playing Wolverine, this person's playing Cyclops. I feel like if they do it, it'll just be a way to kind of explain, hey, we're in. Like, shit's about to start happening. And, like, at that point, they could take it step by step. Because, I mean, the thing is if all of a sudden mutants come in, and then all of a sudden now Spider-Man that features Toby and Andrew and all these old villains, and now the focus is on a new X-Men, because they wouldn't use the old X-Men. That wouldn't make any sense.
Well, the reason this theory exists, right, is because the last time they've showed the Statue of Liberty, in any Marvel film was X-Men 1.
Interesting.
And so all of a sudden they're showing the Statue of Liberty again, and everybody's assuming like that would be a really iconic shot of Doctor Strange on the Statue of Liberty, and then having
Interesting.
And yes, the first movie that Kevin Feige produced was X-Men 1.
Right.
So it would be like storybook ending of like where he started and where they're beginning again for X-Men. So, but it's just theory.
Was Doctor Strange supposed to come out last year originally, or was it supposed to come out this year?
I'm not positive. I would say it was probably supposed to be Christmas last year, but I might be wrong.
I was gonna say because X-Men 1 just celebrated an anniversary too, in 2021.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to be coming, right? But I mean, yeah, who knows? It's
or 2020.
I mean, Tom Holland's talking about how he doesn't want to play Spider-Man anymore, which to me, sounds to me like he just wants a bigger paycheck. But we'll see.
That'd be a bummer to lose Tom Holland, man.
I personally think he'll do one more. I think he's gonna want to end it in an appropriate way.
Yeah,
they're gonna do the Venom crossover thing, my assumption. And I think in that movie they introduce Miles Morales and then they go that route.
Yeah, that would be cool. I mean, I'd be fine with them switching it up, and then Peter could come back somewhere down the line, like. Yeah, I think he does in the comics. It's just he's dead, and then he's like, oh, he's not actually dead. He's still here.
Well, I read two little things from Tom Holland like the last week, and basically it sounds like the guy's just like completely burnt out.
Yeah,
he had 3-day break in between filming Uncharted and then starting Spider-Man, and he basically was like, I was like dead after Uncharted, doing all those stunts and everything like that. Because the thing is like everybody assumes Spider-Man's really stunt heavy, but he's like most of the movie's CGI, so like I'm in a mask, it's stuntmen doing it, like. He's like, it's not a super, stunt heavy film compared to Uncharted, where I was doing
everything.
And he's like, my legs, all my muscle was killing me after that movie, and then I had 3 days rest, and I had to start Spider-Man. So it sounds like he just needs a break, but
yeah,
I don't know. We'll see. I have a feeling they're just going to offer him like, here's $40 million, come back for Spider-Man, and he's like, yeah, I'll do $40 million. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
Well, honestly, if they could even get him for 1 or 2 more, like it would be pretty dope to get like 5. If I could get 5 good Spidey movies out of him, that'd be sick.
I think Spider-Man 4 introduce Miles Morales and then maybe do like the kind of butt thing where he's in like the next Avengers or something like that. And that's his last kind of go around, and then it kind of hands the baton off to Miles Morales and they go on that storyline. Like I think that'd be the way to go. The best part of Peter Parker obviously is like the high school / early college years. And I think the point is to keep him young, and he's going to age out of that bracket. So then you bring in Miles Morales, who's young again. And
yeah, I definitely would be down for Miles. That would be cool. But
yeah, it would have a different tone and a different angle on the whole thing. And I think that'd be interesting. We've never really seen it.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be really cool.
Yes.
So, yeah, I liked we talked about a little bit about the Spider-Man trailer. You said it didn't really do that much for you, right?
It's what I expected.
Yeah. It made me really excited. I was like, fuck yeah, let's do this.
Yeah, it looks great. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm very excited to go see it. I'm going to buy tickets as soon as they go on sale because that movie's going to sell out instantly. But that trailer didn't do anything like more to hype me up or anything like that. I was just like, okay, look, this looks awesome. Like, this is exactly what I expected to be. It's like villain bouncing around and looks good. I mean, you had me at Spider-Man,
Yeah, man. I'm ready for it.
Yeah. I'm ready. What? Less than a month.
Less than a month. It's only it is less than a month now. All right.
Yeah.
Woo.
Like, just over 3 weeks, so we're good.
Fucking A. We'll be talking about it in no time.
Yeah, hell yeah. And then, until then, we got Hawkeye, so we'll be busy boys.
I'm actually excited for Hawkeye.
So am I.
I think it looks pretty fun.
It's funny. I know this is really off topic, but not off topic. Have you seen that new Home Alone movie at all?
No, I haven't. I might watch it just because I actually like Rob Delaney and Ellie Kemper, but
So do I. I love Ellie Kemper.
yeah, she was my guest on. I thought of you because on Conan, the one I went, or not Conan, on Stephen Colbert that I went to, his guest was Quentin Tarantino, and then yeah, it was great. They went into a huge like side. They kept going, and they're just like, we're just gonna make them cut this out. Like it doesn't.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was great. They talked about The Thing for like 10 minutes. It was ridiculous. It was good though. And then when at the end he's like, okay, we have like a surprise guest because like she couldn't be here for when she's supposed to be here in a couple of days, so we're filming her spot tonight, and you guys get to get that too. And then Ellie Kemper came out, so it was like, so I got yeah, I know, it was great. I got Quentin Tarantino and Ellie Kemper in one night. It was good.
That's honestly like one of like that would be like a dream lineup almost. Like that's a good guest lineup right there. I love like Quentin Tarantino is my favorite director outside of Christopher Nolan. So
they were both good.
Yeah, it's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I want to watch it. It looks kind of bad, like from all the trailers I've seen for the new Home Alone movie. It looks pretty bad, but
yeah, it looks bad.
I kind of want to watch it just out of like nostalgia.
I am gonna watch it. I'll watch it. It'll probably be terrible, but I'll at least look at it just because I love the original. But that's pretty much a guarantee for me to hate this. So
yeah. I heard some. I don't want to spoil it. I heard some things about it that made me more interested to watch it, but yeah, I don't know. It looks pretty bad, but anyway, Hawkeye gives me like Home Alone vibes. Totally, it gives me like Home Alone vibes mixed with Die Hard, and I'm like, I'm in. This looks great.
Yeah, I agree. It looks a lot of fun. So yeah, I wonder if he'll be like kind of handing his torch off. Like obviously, I know they're kind of lining up Kate Bishop to kind of be the new Hawkeye, but I wonder if we just won't see Clint again, or if maybe just they leave it open ended, and maybe one day we do. And
I don't know. I think he wants out, but I have a feeling they'll leave it open enough where down the line, if he wants to return, it's there for him. But I think they definitely want to start with like a new younger cast just to carry on the MCU. I think they're trying to phase out all these, older people. So
yeah, that makes sense.
And he probably wants a decent paycheck at this point. Notable actor. So the younger you go, I mean, it's like sports, right? Like you get a quarterback in that's really, really good and has been in the league for 10 years. He's going to want a $40-50 million paycheck. You get the young rookie in and you kind of gamble on him and you pay him like shit for 5 years, and then then he's too big for you. So
yeah.
But we should talk Ghostbusters because we're 40 minutes in.
We should talk Ghostbusters. How'd you like it?
So spoiler free for
spoiler free.
Now. We'll dive into spoilers in like 10 minutes or whatever. I thought it was really, really good.
Okay, cool. That's great.
I really, really liked it. I thought it was really, really funny. Paul Rudd is a fucking
hilarious.
He's a standout of that movie.
I agree. I really liked the girl who played Chloe too. I thought Chloe was really good.
Phoebe.
Oh, Phoebe. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, she's amazing. Like, I love that actress. I wasn't familiar with her, but yeah, the actress that played Phoebe was really, really good.
So good. She was so good.
Those were the two standouts for me in that movie. I thought it was funny. It had the right nostalgic touches to it where if you love the original, you're going to get a lot of like fan service type stuff in it. But if you've never seen the original, it holds up on its own.
Totally. I definitely agree with that. That's why I was so okay with the amount of it. But we'll talk about that in spoilers.
Yeah.
I think I
hope that it carries on as a franchise. Like, I hope this really brings it back.
Me too. That'd be amazing. I feel like that would be a hard franchise to keep floating. Like, I feel like you couldn't load it too nostalgia heavy again because it would feel like a safe bet. So like they'd really have to come up with something to like make it continue to stand out.
like I saved this thought because I want to dive into spoilers on this, and like I think we could come up with a few cool ideas that we could do. I don't want to spoil anything though, so I mean,
We'll wait until we're in spoilers, then we'll talk about it.
yeah. Overall, I think it was really good. It felt a little long at parts. There was a few parts where it kind of slowed down a little bit, and I was like, oh, we need another big action scene to like kind of spice this up. But
Yeah.
Yeah, like Paul Rudd is just so funny, man. Like he's just so good. It's his delivery, his facial expressions. Like he just knows how to play that like kind of idiot, brand guy. And he's always kind of the same dude, but he's just funny, man. He's just good.
Yeah, he's really good in it. Honestly, yeah, I thought they were all really good. I liked the podcast. I thought that kid was pretty funny.
Yeah, and it's weird that we never got his actual name.
I know. I thought about that when I got home.
But I felt throughout the movie that we never really got anybody's name like repeatedly. Like when I was looking at the credits at the end of the movies, I'm like, who the fuck was that? I didn't know who that is. Like they're showing all the names. I'm like, I don't know any of these people. I just watched the movie. Like,
yeah,
like the love interest for the older brother.
Yeah,
I couldn't tell you her name.
Yeah, I don't know her name either.
Apparently, it's Lucky.
All right. Maybe if I paid closer attention to the toys, I would notice. What up, BC Sasquatch?
The entire movie.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember. I just don't pay attention to that kind of stuff, so I will if I see it again. I might see it again because I'm trying to get Kate to go, because I actually wouldn't mind seeing it again. I actually really liked it. So.
Yeah, it was good. It was fun. I don't know. If anybody doesn't like it, then I don't know what you want out of Ghostbusters at this point. Like,
it's crazy. It's crazy because I'm seeing a lot of people who are like hardcore Ghostbusters 1 fans who are shitting all over it. And I'm just like, how?
Hey, BC Sasquatch, man. What's going on, man? We're talking Ghostbusters Afterlife. Yeah, no, I don't know how you could shit on. I don't know what you want out of this movie. Like, I don't know how you could make a good sequel to Ghostbusters 1 if this isn't it. If this isn't
I agree.
What you wanted, I don't know what is. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I agree. This works on so many levels. But in a sense, though, this probably wouldn't have felt as cool as it does if it was, like, not 30 years later. Like, you know what I mean? Like if this would have been, like, 5 years after, if it would have all been spaced out 5 years apart, like, this wouldn't really be that cool. But
yeah, no, I don't know. To me, the second one is usually like, as far as I know, people that would follow the original don't even really like the second one.
They don't.
And then the third one, the all-woman cast one, everybody hated pretty much universally. And then you don't like this one either. I don't know what you want then. They've given you three fucking pitches and you've missed on every single one.
I mean, to each their own. And the thing is like to me, when I compare this to Ghostbusters 1, like there are a shit ton of similarities, but there's but it's also its own thing in so many ways too. And like, I don't know. I thought it was awesome. Like I had a smile on my face the whole time I was in that theater, like right from the beginning, right to the end. It was just,
there's nothing that sounds better than like the glare on the Ecto-1, like the siren on the Ecto-1, or the charging up of the guns and everything.
Beams,
like that.
Yeah.
It sounds awesome, and it just those sounds like make nostalgia just run through me immediately. I'm like, oh fuck.
Me too. I think I got goosebumps when she fired up.
Better and everything like that. It just, I don't know. It's exactly what I want.
I don't think this is a spoiler because she's shown in the trailer using it, I'm pretty sure. But when the what's her name again? Phoebe. When she fires up the proton pack, when she's out in the field there or whatever.
Yeah.
I got fucking goosebumps when that happened. I was just like, oh man, that's fucking great.
It just made me want one so bad.
You can get one there. They have a HasLab.
No, I want a real one.
Oh, well, this is as close to real as you're going to get.
I want to go out in the back of a field and just like shoot fucking a proton pack off and fucking blow up a mountain or something. Like, it'd be great.
Me too. I'll cross the stream with you.
Oh, we've been doing that for 20 years. So we should dive into spoilers because I don't know how else to talk about this movie without spoilers.
I agree. It needs to be talked about with spoilers. Okay, guys, so we're doing Ghostbusters spoilers. So hopefully anybody who jumps in isn't like, what are we talking about? Oh, no.
If I see somebody jump in, I'll try to say spoilers, Ghostbusters spoilers. Bounce out. But
GBS.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I mean, to me, the fact that like they got basically the surviving cast back to be in this movie is an exact it's like a direct sequel to the original in that case, and it kind of pretends like the second one doesn't. I mean, the second one has its beats, but it's basically a direct sequel to the original. Like,
I agree. I mean, I think it's hard to say it's a direct sequel because like 2 doesn't add anything to the lore of the Ghostbusters, really. But I mean, like it doesn't damage the first one in any way. It's just not as good. That's all. Like it's like Ghostbusters 1, the safe edition. Like it's just
But okay, like I think a lot of people compare Episode 7 to A New Hope, right? They're like, oh, it's the same movie again. It has the same beats. It has the same basic storyline outline and whatever. Okay, you could say the same thing about Ghostbusters Afterlife. It
Absolutely.
has a lot of the same beats. It has the same villain. It has the same characters, back in it, but brings in a new cast. And that's basically what Episode 7 was, right?
Yep.
It made it new in a way, too, where it was like, we're in a new, we're not in a big city. We're out in the middle of nowhere. It has different twists on story elements, and the old cast is in it for all of 7 minutes. Like, I mean, they're barely.
Let's just state for the record, though, when they're there, it's fantastic.
It is, but my opinion, I'm not a huge Bill Murray fan.
I know you're not.
But like, I looked at that and I was like, these guys look old as fuck.
Yeah,
there is no way they could have carried on a 2-hour movie with that cast. There's no way.
No. I agree.
You had to bring in a new cast. You could not do a new Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters 4 could not be Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, and
no. I agree with you. Ernie Hudson.
It just was not. It was not happening, man.
Yeah, I agree.
We're talking Ghostbusters Afterlife spoilers, just so you guys know.
Good catch. I can't wait till when people listen to this on the podcast channel, they'll be like, "Oh, why do they keep saying there's Ghostbusters spoilers?"
Yeah, that's why I always say the audio version of the podcast are missing stuff because we interact with chat live and it makes it difficult.
Like my lack of collection, I have no collection.
No collection at all.
None.
Yeah, I don't know. We can talk about story beats and everything like that, but like the nostalgic of what's his name, Trevor finding the Echo One, maybe blasting up the proton pack, like all that stuff, finding the ghost trap, and like, does it feel a little like Stranger Things at times? Yeah, for sure. It's a kid from Stranger Things. Like, it has a Stranger Things vibe. It is pulling on the 80s nostalgia a lot.
Yeah, totally. Even like the music, I noticed like the music a lot of the times was like super reminiscent of of Ghostbusters 1. And
no, they brought in the score for sure at certain times. Like, it was the same.
I know there is some stuff that is borrowed, but I think there was some new stuff that just sounded a lot like the old stuff, which is good.
I mean, the villain is obviously still fucking Gozer.
But see, the thing that's cool to me is like, I would never expect them to reuse a villain in this type of world, because with the ghost, you could do anything.
Yeah.
And it's just like, to me, it's like, okay, so I do kind of consider it a little bit safe because it's like, we know what we're getting.
Yep.
But at the same time, it's been so long. I was like, oh, it's her again.
Yeah. But it looked good, right? Like when Gozer came out at the end, I was like, oh, this is like, it looks exactly like the '84 version of that character, basically. Like,
Yeah.
they did a great job at making these things look kind of very similar to the original. Even
the terror dogs, you could tell that they were practical, that they weren't CGI, and it looked like they looked great.
Yeah, and like, you know, instead of Slimer having Muncher or whatever the fuck it was called, like, I was surprised that Slimer didn't show up.
I was just gonna say, did you see Slimer? Because I had to go to the bathroom at one point, and I was out for probably about 4 minutes, and yeah, I didn't see him either. I thought I would. For sure thought he'd be there.
They're using Muncher hardcore.
What's that?
They're using the Muncher ghost as Slimer, you know?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, he's fine, but...
Well, it's not Slimer, but I mean, that was the new version of Slimer. It was...
The thing is, like, the ghosts even in this looked fantastic. Like, they reminded me of the old ones again. Like, they weren't janky like the old ones. You know how, like, the old ones kind of moved kind of, like, janky because they were, like, puppets and machines and shit?
Yeah.
These ones don't really do that, but they still look better than the 2016 one.
No, totally. I totally agree with you. And, I mean, that's what almost 40 years of CGI development does. But, I agree with you. I mean, at the beginning of the movie, you don't know that it's going to be the same kind of story beats as Ghostbusters 1, and I think it's implemented in a way where you don't need to know Ghostbusters 1 to understand what's happening, but it's nice, you know, fan service when you do, and you realize, oh, they're doing the Keymaster thing again. They're doing the, you know, like, it's good. I was actually surprised that they didn't get Sigourney Weaver in there at any point during the movie, but...
Yeah, I'm surprised, but yeah, I loved it. I thought it was fun. I thought same thing as you. The nostalgia thing was it was the perfect amount, and you know, I liked having those similar storylines from Ghostbusters 1. Like the callbacks were great, but again, right? Like the dynamic is totally different this time around. It's like a family. It's not like, you know, we're not dealing with like, you know, 40-year-old New York guys who are like miserable as fuck. Like we're dealing with like a kid who like can't fit in, and like another kid who's
and a 10-year-old.
Yeah, or whatever, right? And it's just like, you know, that being said, there were some parts that were obviously like a bit like they felt maybe a bit too convenient, right? So like I'll give an example. So like for anybody who's here who hasn't seen it and is just letting us spoil it for them. So obviously Harold Ramis, who plays Egon, is dead, and the whole opening scene is basically like Egon with like in the shadows, so you don't really like see his face or anything, but you can kind of tell it's him. He's like in this like farmhouse being chased out by a ghost, and like you don't really get the full understanding of what's happening, but like you can tell that like he's trying to like do something like pretty huge. And what ends up happening is he dies, and then like his family takes like basically gets called to like come and like collect all their shit, and they end up living in this house, in this like farmhouse. What do they call him? The dirt farmer or something?
Dirt farmer.
Dirt farmer.
Everybody, he lives on a farm, but he's never grown anything. He just has a piles of dirt like out in the field. So
yeah, because he was burying all the traps, right? That's what it's.
Well, yeah, we find out that he's actually been setting up a gigantic, basically like a farm of ghost traps to capture ghosts. But he has a plan in place, but nobody knows it except for him.
Right.
He's left breadcrumbs throughout his farm, basically, for them to figure out.
So to skip a couple kind of bits here, but like we get to the point where like I noticed really quickly in the movie that like Egon's spirit was like in the house and like is like basically talking. I can't remember how it starts. I think it starts with her with the chess piece, I think, right? Yeah,
she's playing chess with Egon, not knowing that she's playing chess with Egon. She's just moving chess pieces, and then wakes up in the morning and sees the opposing chess pieces are moving across the board on their own, basically.
Yeah, so I thought that was kind of cool at first, but then it got to the, like, there were parts where, like, it got too campy, where it'd be, like, you know, like, all of a sudden it's like, here's the lamp, and then the lamp would just, like, kind of come in, and, like, at those points, I was like, man, that might be a little bit too campy, But I did love the idea that like Egon was like there in spirit and like communicating with his granddaughter, and I thought that was like super fucking cool.
Yeah, I think it's a hard line to balance on, right? Like, you don't want to use Harold Ramis's likeness in like a distasteful way. You don't want to, like, you know, his family probably didn't want him necessarily to be used in the movie or whatever. There's always that balance. Like, they did the same again with Star Wars when
Grand Moff
Carrie Fisher died.
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
what are we going to do with Carrie Fisher? And we don't want to use her as a ghost, or do we, or, you know, whatever. And
yeah,
you see that happen all the time, and they're talking about it with Black Panther too now. You know, it's same thing. Is how do you balance on that line without besmirching, you know, the character or the actor's memory? I thought at the beginning when they refused to show his face and it was just like a ghost form walking through the house and whatever, or I guess he was still alive at that point, but I assumed that he was never going to be in the movie, and that's how they were going to get around it. Was we're not going to use his likeness, we're just never going to show his face, and you're going to know who we're talking about. But then by the end of the movie, you actually see a full body apparition of him, and I thought that was kind of a weird choice, just because he has no dialogue, he has nothing to say. He's just you see his face, and I'm like, you could have done that without showing his face, and it would have been just as well done. So it didn't add anything to my.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it did or didn't. I don't know. It may have added for me a little bit, but like, I think it would have been just as fine without. I mean, that being said, though, it was cool when Harold Ramis, when it's like the 4 original Ghostbusters are all lined up, and you know what I mean. I thought that was pretty fucking cool. Yeah, and then of course Bill Murray has to make like a joke, right? So it's like,
no. Like I said, like, it's nice to see them all back together. It's nice to see them in uniform. It was really cool for that nostalgia. Yeah. But you could have done this movie and not had them in it at all, and I think it would have worked just as well.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Maybe not without Harold Ramis. Like, I feel like
you could have done it
without
as his family. It could have been the same basic storyline. He just wasn't in it. Like. But you could have set it up as he left all these things for his family to find and figure out, and he wanted the Ghostbusters to carry on and whatever, but you could have done it without him being in the movie, and you didn't need the original other 3 in it at all. They're in it for 8 minutes.
But I like the fact that it's his family. Like, I feel like that's an important piece. And like, you know, even if they would have done it and like we didn't get the 3 living guys, but we did get Egon, like, I probably would have still been okay with that. But that being said, it would probably feel weirder if we got the dead guy and didn't get the 3 living guys.
Yeah, no, I see both sides of it for sure. And I mean, like, Egon was always my favorite as a kid. Like, he was my favorite Ghostbuster. So I was, you know, it would be disappointing if he was the only one not in it. But, I don't know. Like I said, I thought it was really good. I don't know how this could have been done better, in my opinion. And I think, I didn't want to watch a 2-hour movie of fucking these 70-year-old men trying to run around busting ghosts. Like,
me neither.
They needed a young cast. They needed to do something new with it. And it has touches of the old, but it was well done. It looked beautiful. It was shot really well. Like,
I agree. I thought it looked really good too.
Paul Rudd's fucking funny in it.
Hilarious. Let's talk about Paul Rudd as the Keymaster and the kid's mom and Egon's daughter as the gatekeeper.
Yeah,
Zool, that's her name, right? I guess it's the same.
No, that was great, and I didn't see it necessarily coming until it was already happening, really. But like the whole scene with Paul Rudd in the Walmart with all the little state fucking marshmallow men, like, I was cracking up the entire time. It was awesome.
Same here. That was so fun.
Yeah, and then you get that, like, Keymaster, Gatekeeper, whatever the fuck, duel between them, and it was really well done. It was like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah, I felt like that also felt maybe a little bit forced, but I still went along with it. And to be honest with you, I still enjoyed it. So it was
good. But it wasn't
Like as soon as Paul Rudd became the keymaster, I was like, their mom's gonna be the gatekeeper.
Yeah, well, of course they had to do it that way, and like, I was actually kind of pleased. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but I think like the original Ghostbusters, watching it back, I was like, man, there's a lot of like sexualized jokes in this, and
Totally,
like
tons.
yeah, and like they did it very tastefully in this one, where they realized it was like more of a family friendly movie, where they make a few jokes about it, but like it wasn't like anywhere near the original sexualized way. But
yeah, man, Pete Venkman's a fucking like perv monkey.
yeah,
in the first one. Yeah, I like at the end when Podcast figures out how to get rid of the Stay Puffs, and he comes out of the car and he looks like Winston and Ray did at the end of Ghostbusters 1, just full of marshmallow all over him,
just covered in marshmallow. Yeah, yeah, no, it was a great nostalgic kick. Like just that scene too, like it was great.
Even there was like so many little, even just like little fucking dips of nostalgia. Like when they get into the car and they go in the glove box and a Twinkie comes out, I was just like,
yeah. The Twinkie, like, just watching the Ecto-1 roll around the town, like, I was like, oh, man, I miss this. Like,
it was cool,
yeah, like,
because it was like,
sounds.
It felt like exactly what we know. It looked like exactly what we know, and it sounded like exactly what we know. But then we got to see, like, cool new things, like a side thing, and like a side thing with a basket. Like, man, that was fucking awesome.
Yeah,
like, I know the toy had that, but like we never got to see that in the movie, right? So
right. Yeah, no, and like I was saying, like you were saying, how they kind of carry this on from here is like, I think you could do a sequel to this and just start making the tech more modern. And this is all like the same kind of proton pack, same fucking ghost tracker fucking thing, like same ghost trap, all that stuff. Like, I think there's a room for improvement in all this tech, and they're kind of setting that up as, Phoebe's kind of this like super brain kid, and her start, toying with all these things and making them more modern and stuff like that. Like, I think we could get an upgraded proton pack in the next movie, or something like that, where still have that like 80s vibe, but just kind of update it to something new. I don't know. I think that could be interesting. Obviously, like the credit scenes make it seem like, the next one was going to be in New York.
Yeah.
So I don't know exactly what you do. Like, I don't know if you make them move back to New York or something like that, or if it's a different cast altogether. I don't know what you do with it, but
yeah,
I don't think you need the old people back.
I don't think you do either. I mean, the thing is like, so for the after credits, so for the mid credit scene, what was that one? That one was...
That's Sigourney Weaver doing the test on Bill Murray, the card test that he does in the original movie, where he's like, "What's on the card?" And then when the guy gets it wrong, he zaps him, and when the cute girl gets it wrong, he just, "Oh, you're right."
But when the guy gets it right, he zaps him.
yeah. So then Sigourney Weaver's holding up the cards for Bill Murray, and he's getting everyone right, but she's zapping them anyway.
She's like, "Did you mark the cards?" He's like, "No." Zap. Yeah. Okay, yes, I did.
Yeah, no, it was great.
And then the second one is Janine talking to Winston about his success. So they kind of make it out that like Winston is like this huge successful businessman who like invested his money really well and made a shit ton of money, and like so he's still funding Ray's bookstore and whatever. I don't know what else he's doing, but they made him out to be like, didn't he like buy the building? That's kind of they alluded to.
Yeah, he owns the firehouse or whatever.
He bought the firehouse back, and
yeah, and he has the containment thing still active in the basement.
That's so cool.
Yeah, but it was like blinking, like it was going to release everything, and I think that's where the second one, the new one's going to, take place, as everything gets let out, and they brought back to New York to kind of sort it out or whatever. And I think you kind of start anew there. Honestly, maybe they need upgraded weapons or upgraded stuff to take down all these ghosts. I don't know.
I mean, you could even just do part 2 with just Winston.
Yeah.
And, like, the thing is the other guys are still there. So if you ever wanted them to drop in at any point, you could always just make that happen too, right? Like, they don't need to be not included in the, like, because the thing is, even if Winston is in it, it wouldn't focus on Winston. He would just be the guy who's basically funding it. It's just a chance to kind of see him and have him still attached to the story, right?
Yeah, you could just have him in an early scene and then like an end scene or something like that. He doesn't need to be part of the whole movie. And
well, even if he recruited them out to New York, right? Like,
yeah. Or like maybe that's the arc of the movie is he pays off all their family's debts and says like move to New York, we need a new Ghostbusters team, everything's going to shit here.
That was the vibe I got like from him.
Yeah,
that was like it's like he bought the building back because didn't they allude to it earlier in the thing as it used to be now it's a Starbucks.
Yeah,
I think they alluded to that. So it's like I feel like you know, like when I saw that scene, my mind went to like, oh shit, he's starting a new team or he's starting up the Ghostbusters again.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. I thought too, and maybe I missed this and you caught it or whatever, but I thought it was kind of weird that we never found out who Phoebe and Trevor's dad was the entire movie.
Oh yeah, that is kind of weird.
Like, they're obviously setting up Paul Rudd to be like the stepdad rolling in, but there was a few times that like other characters asked like, oh, where's your dad or whatever, and they were just like, oh, he's not here.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if that meant he was dead or if that meant like he abandoned his family or what. But I feel like that could be a story arc in the next movie too.
Totally. I was gonna say maybe they just wanted to sit on that for now and like, you know, there's no point in putting, if it's not going to really add anything, it's not really needed right now, right? When they go back to it later, they can be like, remember when we talked about their dad? Well,
yeah.
Go.
And then, like, even if you don't bring back the original actors or anything like that for the second one, you could do Slimer in that one, and that's your nostalgia kick. They're back in New York, and that's where Slimer's hanging out.
Or Louis Tully.
Or that, yes.
He could be having another party for his clients.
Yeah, exactly.
That's funny.
Yeah. No, overall, I thought it was a lot of fun.
Me too.
Is it, you know, the best movie I've ever seen? No, but I enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was funny.
Where would you place it? I mean, I think I obviously know where you'd place it. But where would you place it in terms of, like, its rankings amongst the Ghostbusters movies?
Second.
Yeah, okay, me too.
Yeah. It's second to the first one.
Yeah.
Better than the original sequel. Obviously, the 2016 one's the worst, but
yeah. Yeah, I would agree. I liked it a lot. I will most likely see it again before it's out of theaters because I liked it that much.
Yeah, I mean, walking out of the theater, my first thought was, I hope that this means that Ghostbusters is back. I hope it means it makes money. I hope we immediately find out, like, yeah, we're working on a sequel to that, and we're carrying on the franchise. I'd love, like, a new cartoon come back, even though I'm not into animated stuff, but, like, get kids back into the Ghostbusters and shit. Like,
yeah.
You know.
I feel like if they take it slow, they'll have better chance at that, though. I feel like if they're like, okay, this was successful, now it's time to make a cartoon and a movie, and...
No, don't rush it. If they made a movie, a sequel to this for, like, 2025 or something like that, great.
Yeah.
Don't rush it. Make sure you have a great script. Make sure that, everybody wants to come back and this isn't like you're forcing people to come back and you don't have a script that you like and all that shit. Like, find a good story that you want to tell and tell it. But yeah.
I agree.
I like it.
Sure.
Yeah. But yeah.
I think that's Ghostbusters Afterlife.
That's Ghostbusters Afterlife. That's all we got on Ghostbusters Afterlife. If you haven't seen it, I don't know why you listened to it, but we totally spoiled it for you.
I think we did a pretty good job at spoiling it.
Yeah, I mean, there's story beats that we missed, obviously, but
there's lots of story we missed, but that's okay.
Yeah, but I don't know. To me, like, I don't know. When I listen to a spoiler cast, I don't need every story beat gone over. Like, I want an overview of the film, what we liked, what we didn't like.
Yeah.
Obviously, we talk about plot points and stuff we enjoyed, but like not like a beat for beat replay of the movie. I just watched the movie. I don't need a 2-hour podcast on the movie.
Yeah, well, I always think of it just like, what if the people who, because like I know I have lots of times where I listen to spoilers before I see movies. Not usually with the stuff I really like, but like with something like Ghostbusters, I probably would have if like I wasn't like if I was searching around and stumbled across something, I probably would have opened it. But
yeah, see, I'm opposite there. I don't like things spoiled for me. It's the same with like the Spider-Man trailer. Is like if they didn't put that out and we just got the teaser and that was it until the movie came out, I would have been totally fine with that. I don't need to see anymore. I know I'm going to see this movie.
Me too.
So I don't want the whole plot spoiled for me. Like I want to go in and be surprised by things. And that's why I generally don't like trailers for the most part is they spoil too much. They show too much. I don't need a 3-minute trailer of the movie. Give me 30 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know where I stand. Trailers are nice because they always hype me up. So it's like I like it. But
see, like the problem with hype is I'm always let down. Generally, I hype myself up too much, and then I get let down. And like for instance, the new Matrix movie, right? Like I'm really excited for this new Matrix movie. It feels like it has zero hype. It doesn't feel like anybody's excited for this movie except for me.
I agree. It seems very like undercut by everything else.
It does. But also, I have no idea what the movie's about, really. Like, the trailer didn't show too much.
No.
We really don't know exactly what's happening. And I'm like, that makes it more interesting to me, is like, I'm excited for it because I don't know what the entire movie is.
Right. But I mean, even if you look at Spider-Man, like if you look at teaser and then you look at the trailer, I feel like the storylines that both of them give off are very different. Like I feel like this one is like, you know, like the thing I thought was interesting about this Spider-Man trailer was like how the idea that the villains all have to die at the hand of Spider-Man because that's their fate, and Peter Parker's like, I am not okay with that, and it's like,
right.
Like, to me, that's, like, super interesting. And, like, I didn't gather that at all from the teaser. Like, you know, it's just, like, to me, it was more just, like, why are these villains here, right? And then now when you get that piece, I'm just like, man, that's, like, a super interesting card to play because it's, like, you never really see... I mean, you know, Spider-Man's known as being a character who tries his best to not use violence if he can, right? So it's, like... So I love that component. I like that enough that he's willing to try to like go to battle with Doctor Strange just so he doesn't have to kill villains who are supposed to die because of him, right? And it's just I think that's super like different, and I like that. Also, that makes me excited for the movie.
But I think that's also Marvel learning from their past, right? Is every Marvel film they kill off the villain by the end of the film, and then they go, oh. By the 4th film or the 5th film, we have nobody to put in this thing because we've murdered every villain that matters for the most part. So like they're realizing we need to keep villains alive throughout the series, and that's the way to do it is like put them in prison like they did in the new first Spider-Man movie where Vulture just ends up in prison. It's like that's smart.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely. We're talking about Spider-Man trailer right now, Jonathan, Jason.
We just talked Ghostbusters. Now we're talking Spider-Man again.
Yeah, Spider-Man again.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I think it's I don't know. I think it's really interesting to see what they're doing with it, and keep the villains alive. And obviously, there's a villain from each movie, and they've all been killed except for I guess Sandman. So I think that's interesting too. But I don't know. We'll see. Like we said, only 3 weeks away. So.
Yeah, it'll be here in no time.
All right. Well, is that it?
I think that's it.
All right. So thanks everybody for watching. I appreciate it. As always, you can follow us at Customs by Matthew and at Moose Milk Media. We're available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. If you want to swing by on Monday, I'll be continuing my Marvel Lego Daily Bugle.
How did it go last week?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I'll show you. Sorry for audio listeners, but it's coming together.
Man, that's looking cool.
Yeah. It's
Are the pieces separated by like bag? Like so like one bag is one page kind of thing?
Well no? this is the instruction manual, so it's basically a novel. Like I'm here. I've done that much.
Jesus.
I don't have that much to go.
Oh man!
So like it's going to be a long time. I'm over what, about 3.5 hours in, I've only done the first 3 bags, and I think there's 17 bags.
I'm wondering how long it's going to take us to do the Home Alone one, because like
I think some of the bags are smaller than others. Like I think some of the sections will be smaller. So I think I'm guessing around 15 hours, but it's complicated, man. Like doing like Legos as a kid when we were young, like they didn't have as many crazy, pieces and angles and everything like that. So like looking at the page a lot of the times, I'm like, what the fuck is this piece? They all look the same, and my eyes are terrible, and I'm just old, man. I'm just fucking old.
This is taking me back to an episode of Community where one of the teachers they have, he's like an ex-con, and like while he was in prison, he got like his like doctorate degree or whatever, and he's like, can I ask you guys a question? He's like, what's up with Legos? He's like, you gotta know what I mean. Intricate kits. Like, when I was a kid, Legos were so easy.
They went from like 4 pieces and 8 pieces and 2 pieces and like flat and big to like now there's like 16 million different variations. And I'm just like, holy fuck, man, they all look the same. And like, especially with this, it's so gray that like,
yeah,
a lot of the pieces look the same. So it's hard, but like even the fucking figure, man, like
that's crazy.
the figures are fucking intense now. I'm like, holy shit, this was like 25 pieces to put together a figure.
It is cool though. I just love that Lego like doesn't give a fuck about scale. It's just like everything is just like,
yeah,
Yeah,
no, it's awesome, man, and it's a lot of fun. I'm for people that don't know, every Monday I'm doing live streams building this out. So 5 o'clock on Mondays, 5 p.m. Eastern. I go for about an hour and a half, just slowly building this out. So if you want to join, come by, hang out in the comments, chit chat, just chill, relax. No, nothing crazy. Just build away.
Cool. It's pretty cool. I'm excited. We're gonna start building next week. Today we put the Christmas tree up, and then next week we're gonna. Oh. Excuse me.
Good sneeze.
Good sneeze right into the camera.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, anybody that doesn't follow us, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff. Tell a friend, tell a family member. Get the podcast to grow. Let us be Joe Rogan.
If you really want to get the most out of it, if you tell a parrot, then it'll continue to tell people forever.
Forever.
Yeah.
Our art
is media. Live on Spotify.
I hate you. Our art is done by @JanieMilneArt. So if you like our art, follow her as well on Instagram. And I think that's it.
That's it.
All right, buddy. Well, it's nice talking to you.
So I'm gonna end it every single time.
Good night, Kevin. Bye, buddy.
Okay, see ya.